This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. The holidays are over, the decorations are down, and suddenly everything feels a little empty. It's normal to feel the winter blues after the holiday excitement. January, February, and March are by far my least favorite months of the year. It's cold and dark, and I have to get some extra vitamin D on board. I also need to keep my regular scheduled appointments with my therapist. So if you're feeling that post-holiday funk, I definitely suggest you checking out BetterHelp because maybe it's time to talk. You might also be one of those people like me who makes New Year's resolutions and you get super motivated. So maybe you need someone behind you to hold you accountable and come up with a plan to meet your goals. BetterHelp is super convenient, totally online. You have a therapist right at your fingertips whenever you need them. So head over to betterhelp.com/wifeofcrime1 to get 10% off your first month. That's betterhelp.com/wifeofcrime1 for 10% off your first month.
This podcast is an unscripted, unedited conversation about true crime. We take the cases very seriously, but I don't take myself seriously at all. And neither should you. Welcome to Wife of Crime.
So, Russ, the story I'm telling you today is super mysterious. This is a case about a young, ambitious woman who got her dream job working with top secret information. With a job like this, you'd think that she'd be protected, but it might be the very thing that caused her death. This is the case of Kanika Powell. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Wife of Crime, a true crime podcast where I tell my husband, Russ, true crime stories, and he reacts to them.
Yup. Yo, did you see that story about the missing drunk man that accidentally had joined the search party to find himself?
I did.
It's a bit ridiculous. It reminded me of my boy Chip, and I showed him that at the bar, and he laughed because he probably thought, that could have been me.
Yeah, that was a really funny story.
Yeah, so I'll give you guys a brief little thing about it. There was a guy whose wife reported him missing. This was in Turkey. I definitely assumed it was from the Bronx and it was someone I knew. But he was out all night drinking. His wife reported him missing. He saw a search party and was like, oh, I guess I should help with that. So probably chugged one more shot, walked in. I added the extra shot. Then they were searching for a while. And eventually he heard them calling his name. And he's like, hey, that's me.
And they didn't believe him.
And they didn't believe him. And they kept looking for him for a little while till one of his friends saw him with the search party. And it was him.
Yeah. No, that was so funny. When you showed me that story, that was really funny. It did remind me of our friend Chip.
I feel that, yeah, Chip actually. Now, how you could believe this is actually Chip, because I probably met Chip about 45 times before he knew who I was. Every time we met, it was like, nice to meet you.
Yeah, same. He didn't know my name for like 10 years.
Not that I was like trying to be his friend, but we're in the same place. We're in the bar all the time. He's like, hey, how you doing?
And
nice to meet you.
He didn't even get to know us until he started listening to the podcast. Now he knows our names.
I was known, because my sister works at the bar that we go to a lot, I was known as Carrie's brother. Mm-hmm. When he recognized me. And
I was known as Carrie's brother's wife. But now he's a good friend and a patron.
Yeah, big up.
Speaking of the Patreon, we just did the final True Crime and Chill episode of 2021. We finally tackled the JonBenet Ramsey case.
Yeah.
So that was cool.
It was not cool. Well, it's never cool.
Well, yeah.
Whenever a kid is hurt or something like that, it's not cool.
Definitely not.
Even the shithead kids that like are bad and kick stuff and throw stuff.
Well, it wasn't cool. Let me change that. It was good because people have requested that episode for probably the entire time we've been doing this. But I thought it would be better as a True Crime and Chill because there's so many theories. So what we did, we watched the BuzzFeed Unsolved episode on the John Benet Ramsey case because it was like a nice overview. And then we watched a new development episode on A&E that came out that had all these new theories. And we talked about it. It was a good episode. We were a little drunk. It was fun. We had a good time.
I was myself.
So if you are interested in hearing any of our True Crime and Chill episodes, go check out the Patreon. We have one every month in addition to our regular episodes that are ad-free on there. So go check it out.
If you're like me and you just hate listening to commercials or watching commercials, then go check out Patreon, because I literally won't watch anything that has one commercial except live sports.
Yes, but we like to have the commercials because we do
they help
need
us
to have support for the show.
Oh, yeah, because we got to buy stuff and pay for subscriptions, put the episodes out and stuff. So we appreciate all you guys that join. Check that out. Go over there. There's probably about 18, 19 hours of extra content.
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
All right, go ahead. Ready for the patron shout-outs? It's your job. Let's go.
Okay. So this week's patrons, it's a good amount once again. Thank you guys very much. I can't really cheers you guys because I have Bacardi and Coke because I ran out of beer. But it is Jess, Erin, Courtney, Lupe, Michelle, Tiffany, Emily, Fung, Sarah, Kelly, Paige, Amanda, Andrea, Lisa, Amber, and Chip. And that's the Chip we were talking about. He's definitely drunk right now. Cheers to all of you.
And cheers to everybody who listens on the regular feed. And we just love all of you guys. Thank you so much for listening and sharing and everything you guys do. Really appreciate it.
Yeah. And you don't have to join the Patreon support. Just like tell someone that, like, hey, I have some drunk friends I listen to on the podcast. Like, just listen.
Yeah, exactly.
Tell your like drunk uncle or something. And download the app in his phone for a podcast, and then give us 5 stars and subscribe to it, and give him his phone back. And tell him Merry Christmas, you filthy animal.
All right. And you got another job.
Oh, that's right. Almost forgot again. So this one's pretty good. And it's short and sweet. So this one is from P-Tran. I decided I'm going to stop saying the numbers after the name because...
Oh, when someone has a name that has numbers after it?
Yeah, because they're meaningless. Or like... That means just your name was taken, or it might be the last 4 of your social if you're not that smart. But no one would do that. So it's hashtag you ain't want this smoke, 5 stars. Russ, you and I are strangely similar. Did you ever lose a 5'1" mixed Asian sister in a grocery store somewhere? She is sis. Sis is me. I am sis. Hi, Russ. What up, sis? Guess so.
That was really funny. That was good. And I think she became a patron, too.
P-Tran?
Yeah, that's Fong.
Oh, what up, Fong?
Yeah. All right. So I think that's all of our stuff. So this case I'm telling you today is a true head scratcher. It is.
You said that in the Patreon episode, and I was thinking, am I watching the episode with like 2 hands on my head, one on each side, scratching as I'm watching? Like,
It is. It's a head scratcher. There are a lot of details in this case that have me saying WTF. It's interesting because Kanika Powell had a very important...
What's her last name?
Powell. Kanika Powell.
I thought you said pow, like when Batman punched the Joker in the TV show, like pow.
I probably said it like that, but it's Powell.
Powell.
Yeah. So Kanika Powell, said it right this time, had a very important job. A job that one would assume would keep her protected and away from danger. But it turns out her job may actually be the thing that got her killed.
Oh, damn. Like
Right.
being a true crime podcaster. Think you're safe in your house till you talk shit about someone and then they come cut you.
Well, her job was way more important than that. Way more important than being a true crime podcaster.
We bring joy to some people that like us.
We do.
Joy is very important.
It's very important.
I like joy. Jess doesn't like when I'm happy. She
Her
gets mad at me when I'm smiling
That's not true.
and playing video games and talking to my friends, and she tells me to be quiet because she sees the happiness going on.
It's not true. But Kanika Powell's job might be the thing that got her killed. Are you ready?
Yeah.
So this case is out of Baltimore, Maryland. Well, actually, PG County, which is called Prince George's County, which is right outside of Baltimore, Maryland.
I thought Parental Guidance County.
No.
Like a movie's PG-13?
Nope. It's Prince George's County. So this hits really close to home for me. Kanika was a 28-year-old, ambitious career woman. After graduating from Largo High School in 1998, so she was about the same age as you, because you would have graduated in 1998, right?
99.
99. Okay, so close. Kanika went on.
I used to try to hide my age in this podcast, but we really let it go.
We did. You're not 29, bro.
Yeah,
and
but
everyone knows it.
I still don't have gray hair.
You don't.
And that makes Jess so mad because she does.
It does. I've had gray hair since I was like 25.
Sometimes we'll be like mid-conversation, like, I think I see a gray hair. Like, psych, you don't.
No, he still doesn't have gray hair, even though he's 40, which
29
is annoying. So anyway, after graduating from Largo High School in 1998, Kanika went on to join the military. Her mom was surprised by this because her mom says that Kanika was not someone who was huge into sports or like very physically fit. She was kind of a little bit of a nerdy high schooler. So when she went
multiple jobs in there, she might be like a computer person. You know, they got the Air Force. You could work something, fixing something smart.
Yeah, no, and that's what happened. So she went into the Army and ended up serving in Korea in 2004. And then in 2006, she came back to the States and she got her dream job with the Johns Hopkins University Applied Physics Laboratory.
Knew she was smart.
And this is called, well, for the rest of the story, I'm going to call it the APL. So people in the military probably know about the APL. It's affiliated with Johns Hopkins, and they do a ton of research there. They actually have about 400 plus projects at one time that they're working on, and some of them are science-based. Well, they're all really science-based, but some of them are for like scientific purposes, just for medicine or regular things. And other projects are for Homeland Security.
In a hospital?
In the military. No, they're affiliated with Johns Hopkins, but it's called the Applied Physics Laboratory.
So before I met Jess, I never knew what Johns Hopkins was. Mm-hmm. But since Jess is from Baltimore, she takes a lot of pride in Johns Hopkins. It's just like a big-ass hospital research. It's a hospital, I guess, and they have a lot of research going on around Baltimore.
So affiliated with Johns Hopkins is this section called the Applied Physics Laboratory. And I didn't really know what they did exactly, so I looked them up.
I know what it is.
You know what it is? How?
Yeah. No, I know everything, obviously. Mm-hmm. And APL solves complex research, engineering, and analytical problems that present critical challenges to our nation.
How did you know?
Because
you just Googled it.
I know everything.
Whatever. You definitely just Googled it.
Russ the Googlerer. It's Googleable.
It is Googleable. That's true. So based on their, definition of what they do there, it's very vague, right?
And by the way, I didn't Google it. I knew it off the top of my head.
I bet.
Like a genius because my IQ is 182. Mm-hmm. Off the charts.
Okay.
But I assume that's a good number.
So anyway, very vague definition of what they do there. Yes, you were right. That's what they do. But it doesn't really describe the type of projects they work on. So because it's so vague, we know that some top secret stuff is going on there. And Kanika Powell's family also knew there was top secret stuff going on there because Kanika was very vague about her job and what she did because she actually held a top secret security clearance. I don't know a lot about security clearances, but I do know that there are actually a lot of citizens with security clearances, and there are various levels of security clearances, but top secret security clearances are the top. Like, more than 95% of the nation.
That's not a lot because I already know more than 95% of this nation because we're full of 95% of dummies.
No, I'm serious, Russ.
Me too.
Like, you know about actual things that are a threat to the country.
Now,
like she actually knows top secret stuff from the military and the government.
I don't really care about that. I want to know about the aliens.
Well, that people with top secret security clearances might know things about the aliens. Maybe not her, but other people.
All right. So there's a chance if anyone in here has top security clearance.
They won't tell you.
Yes, they would. We're a crime family, and families always tell their secrets that they're not supposed to tell about their clearances to their spouses at home. It's just how it goes.
Well, they're not going to tell you, the podcast host, about their top secret security clearance.
There's a chance.
So when someone holds a top secret security clearance, they are usually very vague about their job. And Homeland Security and the government make it clear to these individuals that if you talk about anything that goes on in your work to anyone, it can threaten national security and you will be put in prison. Like, it's not a question. If anything comes out that leads back to you, you're going to prison. So this was a very serious thing for her. One thing I learned about this on military bases and places that work on national security projects, there's actually these areas called SCIFs. And a SCIF stands for Sensitive Compartment Information Facility.
I knew that.
And SCIFs are really interesting. They're actually a room, and it's called a clean room. And what that means is you get searched before you walk in the room.
Oh, up your butt.
You can, no, not up your butt.
Yes, because you get things into your butt. We already know this.
People who work in here, it's not jail. People who work in here aren't hiding things. They get searched and they have to lock their phone up because their phone can transmit a radio signal. So they have to lock their phone up in a secure bioproof box that they put, the security puts their phone away, and then they go in the room, they work all day, and they only work with like pen and paper. They're not even allowed to use computers.
That sounds to me like it's shenanigans, because if somebody was trying to steal stuff and they were of that big of importance, they would get an iPhone mini because it's easier to stick up your butt and take it in there with you.
Well, it's not shenanigans. There are SCIFs all over the world. All over our country. They have them on military bases, in government buildings. They have them everywhere where really, really sensitive information is being shared.
Well, now, because obviously the president of America listens to this, I might have ruined it for everyone, and they might start inspecting their butts before they go into their SCIF.
You're an idiot.
What up, Biden? Byron, take me out to dinner.
Oh, God.
It's viral. Go check out like Side Talk New York.
Yeah, I've heard.
Take me out
I think
to dinner,
a lot of
Byron.
people have seen that. So, a lot of Kanika's friends and family, even her own mother, didn't really know what she did. They just know she worked at the APL and that she held a top secret security clearance. What we do know is that Kanika was a very happy young woman. She lived alone in her own apartment. She was not in a relationship at the time. And she did have a really tight-knit group of girlfriends that she had been friends with for years, like since high school. She was incredibly close to her family, and she talked to her mom all the time. So, her life was very normal outside of her pretty abnormal job.
She just couldn't tell people about the aliens.
Yeah, she couldn't tell people about anything she did at work.
Hey, if you know something about aliens, you got to tell everybody. But then if you tell everyone, then they think you're crazy.
That's true, yeah.
Tell me.
Kanika lived in a quiet complex in Prince George's County. And on Saturday evening, August 23rd, a man knocked on her door, claiming to be an FBI agent. She gets a knock on her door, and she walks up, and she doesn't open it. She just says, "Who's there?"
And she probably got a gun, right?
I'm sure, yeah.
If she works for the police, not the police. Everyone's the police if they're in charge to me.
She works for for
the military,
Homeland Security, and APL.
But you know what? I bet they don't. That sounds like a desk job at that point.
Yeah, at this point, she's probably doing a desk job. So she doesn't open the door. She asks who it is. And the man addressed her by her full name. He said, "Are you Kanika Powell?" So then she looks through the peephole and she sees a man in a suit, and he claims he's from the FBI. She asks to see his badge. He shows a badge, but the thing about the FBI is they have badges with their face on it.
Like Skulder and Mully. So
she asks to see his badge with his face on it. And he doesn't show her. He just turns around and walks away.
So he showed a badge from like Dollar Tree or something that kids get like when you pretend to be a cop.
Who knows?
I think so.
So she didn't see a second man, but she goes by the window and she hears another voice say, go walk in the other direction to the man that was standing at her door. And this totally freaked her out because she's like, why is this person coming to my door pretending to be the FBI? So she called 911 immediately. Police arrived about 4 to 5 minutes later, and they canvassed the area and they saw no one, no trace of any men. Kanika thought that, maybe she was a target of some type of scam or something. She ended up calling the FBI as well, asking if they sent anyone to her house. And they said, no. First of all, if the FBI is coming to your house, they already know it's you and they're not going to address you by name and ask if this is your name. They're also coming with a group. It's not going to be one FBI agent. And another thing is the FBI will leave a card with you with their name and phone number on it.
You know what gets me about all this? Bringing cards and stuff. Back in the day, that was a big thing. Like, oh, you got a card, or do you have a badge, or do you have like a ID picture or something? We all have printers, man. I have a printer and a laminator. Anyone could make a card or make any of that now.
Yeah, but this guy didn't even have that. So clearly he wasn't from the FBI. He wasn't even good at pretending he was from the FBI because he didn't even have all the fake stuff that someone pretending to be from the FBI would have.
So he basically had the stuff in my police starter kit for a 5-year-old from Toys R Us that Jeffrey the giraffe endorses.
Yeah, like he had like a suit on and a fake badge.
His suit probably didn't fit. He probably got it from Men's Warehouse looking like Steve Harvey knocking on your door. You got to get a pistol.
So she was totally freaked out. Police came. They didn't find anything. She called the FBI. They confirmed that they sent no agents to her house. So the following day, she wrote her friends and family this email. Okay. You guys already know because we have been talking about them for a while now. Via Hemp is by far one of our favorite sponsors we've ever had, okay? We use their products all the time. Maybe you're a little like me. You're a little anxious. You have a hard time settling down. You're kind of wound up a lot. If that's you, Via Hemp products are for you. Check out their website. You will find something that speaks to you. Maybe you're like Russ. You have a hard time sleeping because you have bad nerve pain or chronic pain. Then Via Hemp is for you because their gummies will help you get some quality sleep. Maybe you're looking to have a really good time. Maybe you just really like edibles. You want to laugh. You want to get the munchies. You want to watch a movie and have a really strong belly laugh. Then Via Hemp products are for you, okay? They're literally for everybody. So head over to viahemp.com, promo code wifeofcrime1 to get 15% off your first order. That's VIIAHEMP.com, wifeofcrime1 for 15% off your first order. Last year, Save More Money was the most popular New Year's resolution in America. Clearly, a lot of us feel like our money is slipping through our fingers. Well, I don't know about you, but I'm not the best saver, and I don't know much about investing until I started saving and investing with Acorns. Turns out you don't have to be an expert at all because Acorns will recommend a diversified portfolio that fits you and your money goals. And I always thought that when people say, ooh, I invest in stocks, that they had a ton of money or something. Well, you don't need to be rich. Acorns lets you invest with the spare money you've got right now. You can literally start with $5. And you guys are spending that at Starbucks on these fancy lattes. So skip the coffee and invest with Acorns. You don't even need a ton of time. Like you can just sign up and start investing within 5 minutes. Head over to acorns.com/wifeofcrime or download the Acorns app to start saving and investing for your future today. That's acorns.com/wifeofcrime. Subject: weekend. I just wanted to share with you the scariest thing that happened to me this weekend. Saturday evening around 7 p.m., a man was knocking at my door. As all of you may know, I live alone. I asked who it was, and he didn't answer. So once I got close to the door and looked through the peephole, I saw a male figure that was not familiar to me at all. I asked who he was again, and all he stated was that he was from the FBI, and he was looking for Kanika Powell. It freaked me out completely because this man knew my name. He held a shield up with
and last name.
Yeah. He held a shield up with no picture ID. And he never gave his name. He told me he was looking for me in regards to an investigation. I told him that I have no idea as to what he's talking about and that he would need to show me documentation as well as a warrant of some sort. So he left and I looked out my bedroom window. I saw him walking. I also heard a voice tell him to walk the opposite direction. The whole situation was scary and seemed so false. So because of this incident, I not only got no sleep for the rest of the weekend, but I'm now trying to get an alarm system installed in my apartment. I had one in my old apartment, but I just hadn't had it transferred to my new one. As far as everything that happened with the guy, I did call the FBI and they told me that it was more than likely a bogus claim because they never come to your door by themselves and they always leave a card so you can contact them. I called the local police as well and gave a description. I don't want someone out there trying to rape or harm single women. Pass this on, ladies. This is not a fake forward. This happened to me, Kanika, ... Who knows who these guys are and what they're doing and what area other than in mine. So that was the email she sent to her friends and family.
I think it's very impersonal, and I find it very weird when family members send other family members email when you have their phone numbers. But I guess in that situation, she probably wanted to send to a bunch of people. She
did. She wanted to send it to a bunch of people, and this was the early 2000s. And if you remember correctly, back in the early 2000s, I think I had a slider phone. I think this is when sidekicks were big. Like, mass texting wasn't a thing back then.
Also, group texting is really annoying anyway, so I guess like 1,000 people respond.
Yeah.
But don't email people if you have their phone number. Just call them or text them. And
yeah, but she probably wanted, like you said, to get it out to a bunch of people. She sent it as a mass email to her friends and family.
That's true. And also, never start a group text. If you do that, you're annoying.
That's not true. You're an idiot.
So Jess just admitted she was annoying.
I do group texts all the time.
Yeah, if you whoever starts the group text, bro, they're unfriended in real life.
They're only annoying to you.
No, because then sometimes you wake up to 47 messages. And you know what I'm reading? The first one and the last one.
Whatever.
And I'm filling in the gaps and deleting and finding new friends.
So then on August 27th, another man came to her door. This man also addressed her by her full name, but this time he claimed to be delivering a package. She refused to open the door again, and he walked away, claiming he was going to the truck to get the package, but he never came back.
That's me, bro. I don't open the door for no one. Jess will open the door for anyone.
Yeah,
she hears the door ring. I gotta go see who it is. First of all, if it was someone you knew, they have your phone number, and they would have called or texted, said, I'm coming through. And if they didn't, and if they showed up without calling or texting, then you need to cut them off too, just like people that start group messages.
Well, she refused to open the door, and he said he was going to get the package. He never came back. He didn't leave a package, and he didn't leave like a note to go pick up the package at UPS or something. And then there was another incident a day later, August 28th. Another man knocked on the door.
Same man?
Another man.
So there's different dudes. They're taking turns.
I mean, I don't know if she just couldn't tell it was the same person because they were dressed differently, but according to her mother, who she told this about, 3 different men, back to back, came to her door.
I'm assuming these clowns were wearing disguises from Toys R Us where they got their police badges.
Well, the other one was a delivery guy.
Like the glasses with the nose and mustache.
Well, the other guy was dressed as a delivery man, like for UPS or something.
Huh.
So then there was another incident on August 28th. Another man knocked on the door claiming to deliver a package as well. He came by at 7:30 in the morning, which Kanika found weird because 7:30 in the morning is actually like really early to get your packages delivered. I feel like we don't get packages delivered that early either.
No one delivers that early. I think it starts like 9.
And again, he used her full name. Are you Kanika Powell? Kanika was full-blown scared at this point. Not only did she not open the door, but she called her mom right away. And she's like, Mom, something's weird about this. Like 3 times in a row, these people are coming to my house asking for my full name. And I'm just freaked out. And
I'm intrigued. I need to know.
Really scared. So the next day...
Wait, does she have a dad?
I'm not sure,
to
be honest. I just know in the story, like when you research this case, there's honestly not a lot of stuff about this case online, to the point where a lot of the stuff you research, it comes up with an error 404 message when you research certain
FBI
websites.
trying to wipe it out.
There's a lot of things that have been wiped off the internet about this case, which is we'll talk about later.
We might need to stop talking about this before they try to wipe us out.
A lot of podcasts have covered this case.
Wipe them out first. They did it first.
So,
what last line? But I was saying, like, hopefully, like, is her family there? Is there anywhere she can go to not sleep in this place where people keep coming to look for her?
Yeah, she has her mother, and she called her mother right away after this third incident and told her how scared she is.
I wonder if her mom was like, just come sleep here, stay here.
Possibly, but I don't know for sure. But she was leaving for a work trip the next day anyway. So
to go to Area 51.
Well, she needed to run some errands before she went on this work trip. So later on that day, the guy came at 7:30 in the morning. Later on that day, she went to run errands before she went out of town. She didn't want to wait until dark to do them, though. So she just went in the middle of the day, like in the afternoon. She left her apartment for a few hours, and she came back home around noon, and there was a man standing in the hallway.
Oh.
She was shot several times.
What?
In the torso with a handgun.
You said that's so calm.
Well, she was shot several times in the torso with a handgun.
Holy shit.
Police received a call at 11:50 a.m. and she was rushed to the hospital, but she never regained consciousness. And she died the next day, August 29th. Police didn't know where to start. Her wallet and her keys were found laying right next to her body, which totally ruled out a robbery situation. She had no significant enemies that they knew of. She didn't have a history of any risky behavior. Automatically, a lot of people just thought maybe this had to do with her job.
I need answers.
Especially her mom. Her mom thought that right away.
Yeah.
But police didn't think so. There are a few theories that have circulated over the years since her death. So the whole job thing is really interesting because when you work for the government and you have a top secret security clearance, if you notify the government or the people you work for about strange behavior like this, they're going to put like a detail outside of your house and watch you because you're someone who knows a lot of important information that is sensitive to the country.
So like if someone kidnaps you, you could possibly give up all that information. So maybe they're protecting you like that.
Yeah, like they will put someone out to protect you or watch you.
So, but they did not.
They did not.
Oh.
But, so that's why the police thought this doesn't have anything to do with her job, because if it did, the the government would have been protecting her after she first notified people that someone came to her house claiming to be the FBI and they weren't. But her mother doesn't agree. Her mother thinks that this definitely has to do with her job. And so do a lot of people. And one of the theories about it being, something job related is because a few months after Kanika was killed, another person was killed whose death was very similar. His name was Sean Green, and he worked for the National Counterterrorism Center in Northern Virginia. And he lived only a few miles from Kanika. He handled computers, and he also held a top secret security clearance. He lived in Prince George's County. He was also African American. He was in his 20s, and he lived alone. And he only lived a few miles from Kanika. So on November 12th, Sean Green was shot to death by a masked gunman at around 5:30 p.m. while he was in his car at a red light.
When you say masked gunman, does that mean someone that was shooting other people and him?
No, they targeted him.
I thought masked gunman means like mass shooting, like
no, masked.
Masked.
With a mask on his face.
Oh, so finally my accent isn't the weird one.
A masked gunman. He was on his way to the gym, and this guy just approached his vehicle and shot him numerous times while he was at a red light.
That's scary.
Eyewitnesses claim the attack seemed personal and targeted because the guy didn't shoot anybody else and went right up to his car.
Was he like, I wonder if he was like pretending to be a bum with like a squeegee or something.
No, he just walked up to his car with a mask on and shot him multiple times and then left the scene.
Damn.
So Sean was a self-described square, right? He was a little nerdy. He loved his job. And he served as a role model to his nieces and nephews. He didn't have any enemies, just like Kanika. And he didn't engage in any high-risk behavior, just like Kanika. Did he work with her? He worked for the National Counterterrorism Center in Northern Virginia. But he also held a top-secret security clearance. And a lot of people connect their deaths because it is a very similar thing. Like
random
age,
just killing. Like an assassination.
People. Yeah. Another theory that's really interesting that I found really fascinating because I didn't know about this guy was that there was a serial killer in Maryland at the same time. And his name was Jason Thomas Scott. So Jason Scott murdered 5 women in Prince George's County at this time. He was actually a UPS driver. And what he would do is he would watch people.
Wait, how many people did he kill?
5 women. He was a UPS driver and he would track people by using his job, of being a UPS driver. He would watch people and track them, and he would pick his targets based on their schedule of like when they would go to work, when they would come home, and he would pay attention to that. And that's how he picked who his victims were.
You know what's crazy? I'm thinking he's a piece of shit that's dressed like a piece of shit.
Why?
Because they wear all brown.
Oh, they do, yeah.
So he's just a big piece of shit on the loose.
He is. So after tracking women, he...
Shout out to the good drivers that wear that crappy outfit.
Yeah, the good UPS drivers. It is poop brown, it's true.
Yeah, no one looks good in that. But they got good jobs.
So after Jason would track these women, he would shoot or strangle his victims, and then he would rob them. So a lot of people connected this, but because of the delivery guy that knocked on her door a few times. But Kanika wasn't robbed. So
it doesn't seem
I don't really
like that
buy
would be the
that
reason.
one. Yeah.
But sometimes I think that like people's first intentions might be killing someone, and then like, well, might as well just take what they have.
Well, this guy was a serial killer.
Because I also was watching a video on worldstarhiphop.com the other day where these 2 dudes were fighting, and one knocks the other one out, and you could tell they weren't fighting because he was trying to rob him. He was knocked out, and then he was like, I guess I'll go in his pockets and take what I got. Take what he got.
That's scumbag shit.
Well, it depends. You kind of hated him. You knocked him out. Maybe I could take his money too.
That's terrible.
But they were both trying to knock each other out.
Yeah, that's true.
So, a fight between 2 men, a fair fight, and just let it go. That's old school shit that you just let go.
Yeah, that's true.
And maybe they settled their differences.
Well, he didn't rob her. So that kind of throws the theory out the window for me because he robbed all of his other victims. Jason Scott was sentenced in 2012, but he never confessed to murdering Kanika. He did confess to the murders of the other 5 women, though. So
probably not him.
Yeah, he's suspected to be involved by a lot of people, but I don't really buy it, to be honest. At this point, her case still remains cold. And honestly, researching this case is very tough because, like I said, there's so many websites that pop up with 404 error messages when you look her case up. And the only info you can get is what's online on Reddit, and it's pretty much everything I just told you, and multiple podcasts that have covered this case. And that's it. There's nothing else out there.
It's pretty shitty.
Yeah, it's incredibly weird and vague. I mean, did someone place a hit on her because of something that she was, involved in with her job?
She had top secret clearance, and she was dealing with things that she shouldn't tell people. And maybe they thought she was telling.
But the thing is, if the government is putting a hit, okay, so say it was our government that put a hit on her, right, and got her killed, right? Just say that. I really don't think that they would have had 3 attempts to her house. Like, if you're going to hire a hitman, anybody is going to hire a hitman, whether it's our government or a foreign government. Like, that's the one thing about this that kind of throws me.
I agree, because they just got the other guy at the light, and she used to drive her car, and guarantee you get caught at lights. The lights aren't even in sync. Whoever's in charge of that town needs to fix these lights. There was no traffic, but it took me 3.5 hours to go 3.5 blocks.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. In New York, we sync the lights. Baltimore, get your shit together.
Yeah, the lights are not in sync.
Bro, you go from light to light to light.
It's true.
All right, I'm getting angry. But anyway, so obviously they could have got her like that.
Yeah, like there are other chances that if it was actual hit by a hitman, like I don't think they would have attempted to knock on her door 3 times.
But it wasn't no rape stuff because
Nothing.
they just shot her
They just shot her
dipped.
and left. Yeah.
But they also shot the other dude at the light, which was a pure assassination. These were both assassinations.
Yeah. It's very fishy. And to this day, her poor mother is just like, what happened to my kid? And there are no answers. And there are no details. Like the only details we have are the details I've told you today. There is just nothing else about this case. And it's just cold. And I don't know if anyone will ever know any answers, which is really sad.
It's pretty annoying.
So we may never know. But we do have a good amount of Maryland listeners. So if anyone has any information related to Kanika's case at all,
tell the police. Don't tell us because we don't want to get shot.
Well, no, I was about to tell you can contact the Prince George's County Crime Solvers hotline at 1-866-411-8477, or you can go on their website. You can also call the Prince George's County Police Department at 301-352-1200 if you have any information at all. But a lot of people have no information on this, so it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I'm going to mind my business. This one seems fishy and they're going to come get us because we did this podcast.
No one's going to come get us. Like I said, multiple podcasts have covered this case before, but there's just not hardly any information out there. But it's one of those cases that like really makes you wonder because especially
I want to
because
know a little more. This is definitely government, but also who were her friends? What was she doing in her time off?
Well, she had no relationships. She wasn't dating anyone at the time.
She ain't friends?
According to her friends. No, relationships with men. She wasn't dating anyone at the time. According to her friends, she didn't have a boyfriend. She wasn't seeing anyone. She was really just devoted to work and she lived by herself. She didn't have a roommate.
So what would be the motive to kill her? The only thing she has is that she knows things other people doesn't.
Exactly.
Or don't.
So that's why a lot of people feel like this is related to her job. But it is a good point that someone made when I was reading on Reddit that if this was related to her job, like I said before, why wouldn't they have done more to protect her? Because when you're in a
Got it. I know why. Because if it was related to her job, that means they didn't do more to protect her because they were the ones finishing her.
So you think that our government put a hit out on her? Based on the information?
That's what it seems like, but I don't want to say it because I can't use my profiling skills for this. So it wasn't Russ the profiler that said this. It was Gus the profiler. It's not me. I
mean, I don't know. To me, it's so fishy. This case reminded me a little bit when I was reading about it. It kind of reminded me of the TV show Killing Eve. Great TV show, by the way. But it made me think of that assassin in the show Killing Eve.
Oh, that was the red hair? The one with the red hair?
No, she didn't have red hair. She was the assassin who was the
red
female
hair
assassin.
Yeah, she had red hair. Then the Asian lady was her friend.
That's Killing Eve. But that's what I thought of because I was thinking, if someone put a hit out on this girl, a hitman is just going to get the job done, not attempt to knock on her door 3 times.
I don't know if that's true because he might have thought that those couple previous times weren't suspicious to her.
Maybe.
So he could have came back and did it in the way he felt wasn't suspicious.
I know. So, like I said, this case is a true head scratcher because we will never know. And you just have to, I hate those unsolved cases because you have to just walk away and never get closure. But it's also very interesting to me.
So I guess we're all scratching our head here.
We are. All right, everyone. Well, if you have any information, I will put the link to Prince George's County Crime Solvers hotline in our show notes.
Well, all right. So no closure, but what you could do to make yourself feel better is go to wifeofcrime.com to get yourself some merch to look good.
Nice segue.
Swag, baby.
All right, everyone.
So I got my hoodie on. I got the wine and beer crime hoodie with the knife. That is the best one. The other one's a swaggy too, like Stay Fit, Stay Alive. And we even got a Christmas ornament, but if you ordered it right now, you probably ain't gonna get it by Christmas.
No, you're not.
But you just hang it up all year round. And if you don't, if you're one of those weird people that don't take your Christmas tree down until the spring, it'll work for you.
Yeah, well, it's true.
My nanny one time kept it up like all year. I think she took it out when it was like hot.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, everyone. Have a wonderful holiday. We will be putting out a bonus episode for the New Year week. So look out for that. Yeah. And we have another listener episode coming out soon. So look out for that.
Where could they send us their listener episodes?
You can send
listener stories.
You can send listener stories to wifeofcrimepod@gmail.com. And we have a few in the queue. So it might be a little while before you get to hear yours. But send it to Wife of Crime.
But not really, folks. Because if your story's better, we bump their bum-ass stories down.
No,
so send us a story.
Every story has been really good.
Yeah, but there might be one that's oh shit level.
Yeah, that's true.
If anyone was abducted by aliens, message us. I want to hear that. But all the rest could be crime stories, like normal stuff. I want to hear the aliens.
Well, you can send it to wifeofcrimepod@gmail.com. And then just check us out on Instagram at Wife of Crime Pod and Facebook at Wife of Crime, the Crime Family, and Patreon at Wife of Crime, the Crime Family, and wifeofcrime.com. All right. Well, have a wonderful holiday, everyone. Talk to you later.
Hope you get coal in your stocking. Bah humbug.
Bye.